One of the most telling indicators that a woman may not be interested in you is how she communicates, or more specifically, how she doesn't. When someone is genuinely excited to connect, communication flows naturally. They reply promptly, keep conversations going, and look for ways to engage with you. But when you're dealing with someone who's not feeling the same level of interest, the difference is easy to feel, even if it's hard to admit at first. You might notice that she frequently takes hours or even days to respond to your messages. And when she finally does, the replies are short, dry, or lacking any real effort to continue the conversation. It might feel like pulling teeth just to get a few words out of her. Often she'll offer polite excuses. Sorry, I've just been super busy, or didn't see your message until now. While life does get hectic, consistent disinterest can't always be chalked up to a packed schedule. The truth is, when people truly want to talk to you, they make time. Even amidst chaos, they find ways to stay connected. It doesn't mean they have to be glued to their phone, but there will be a rhythm, a back and forth that shows mutual enthusiasm. If you're constantly refreshing your messages, waiting for a reply that never comes, or worse, a reply that feels more like an obligation than an effort, it's time to take a step back. Clinging to one-sided communication chips away at your confidence and self-worth. You start to second-guess yourself, wondering what you did wrong or what you need to do differently to win her attention. But this isn't about trying harder. It's about recognizing when to walk away. You deserve someone who doesn't make you feel like a burden just for wanting to talk. When interest is real, effort is natural. When a woman is genuinely interested in you, she'll find ways to make time, even if her schedule is packed. Interest shows up in effort. She'll suggest alternate days if she's busy, show enthusiasm about seeing you, or at the very least commit to making plans soon. But when someone is not that into you, you'll often notice a pattern of vagueness, hesitation, or complete avoidance when it comes to planning time together. You might suggest grabbing coffee, going for a walk, or catching a movie, and instead of a straightforward yes or no, you get replies like maybe, I'll let you know, or we'll see. These non-answers sound polite, but over time they signal something deeper, a lack of desire to actually follow through. It's easy to convince yourself that she's just busy or overwhelmed, but if this pattern repeats itself, you need to take it seriously. We all get busy, but we also prioritize who and what matters to us. If she's consistently unable or unwilling to make firm plans, or if she repeatedly cancels last minute without trying to reschedule, that's your clue. It often means she's not emotionally invested, but doesn't want to shut the door completely, keeping you around just in case her other options fall through. This gray area can be especially confusing because it's not an outright rejection. You're left hoping that maybe, just maybe, the next time you ask, she'll say yes. But hope without reciprocation leads to frustration. If you find yourself always initiating, always waiting, and always feeling like you're on hold, it's time to reassess the dynamic. Real interest doesn't feel like chasing. A healthy connection involves two people who both want to spend time together and who show it. Don't settle for being someone's maybe when you deserve to be someone's priority. One of the clearest signs that a woman may not be emotionally invested in you is when your conversations remain consistently shallow. At first, small talk is natural. It's how most people start to get to know one another. But if over time your interactions never move beyond basic topics like the weather, casual jokes, or generic daily updates, it can be a strong indication that she's not trying to build a deeper connection. When someone is genuinely interested, they tend to show curiosity about your life. They'll ask questions about your passions, your childhood, your goals, or how your day really went. Not just as a formality, but because they want to understand who you are. If you're the one always initiating the conversations and trying to add depth while she keeps things on the surface, it can feel incredibly one-sided. You might try to share something meaningful, a personal story or a challenge you're facing, and get little more than a short, polite response in return. She may not ask any follow-up questions or show signs of emotional engagement. Over time, this kind of interaction becomes draining. You start to feel like you're talking to someone rather than with them. It's not about expecting deep conversations 24/7, but real interest means showing up with curiosity, warmth, and presence. The way someone communicates reveals a lot about their intentions. If she's not opening up even a little or showing a desire to understand you, it likely means she's keeping her emotional distance on purpose. That distance can be a subtle way of saying she doesn't see the connection going any further. Instead of pushing harder to get more out of her, it might be time to accept what the silence or shallowness is telling you. Real relationships thrive on depth, not just consistency. Physical and flirtatious energy is often a natural part of romantic connection, especially in the early stages of getting to know someone. When a woman is genuinely attracted to you, she'll usually express it not just with words, but through subtle body language and gestures. This might include leaning in during conversation, finding small reasons to touch your arm, maintaining eye contact, or smiling in a way that feels warm and inviting. These are all quiet but powerful signs that she's comfortable with you and interested in something more than friendship. However, when that kind of energy is completely absent or even replaced by physical distance or discomfort, it can be a strong indicator that she doesn't see you in a romantic way. You might notice that she keeps a noticeable physical distance, rarely makes eye contact, or avoids any form of casual touch. If you happen to brush against her arm or sit a little closer and she suddenly shifts away or seems tense, she may not be feeling that natural chemistry. That doesn't mean she dislikes you as a person, but she may not feel a spark. In some cases, she may even be friendly and talkative, which can create confusion, but without any signs of physical closeness or flirtation, it's worth considering. That her feelings may be strictly platonic. It's important to respect boundaries at all times, of course. Not every woman is physically expressive, and some may take longer to feel comfortable with touch. But when there's a complete lack of physical energy over time, and especially when combined with other signs of disinterest, it becomes clearer that she may not see the connection progressing. Physical closeness often mirrors emotional closeness. If she's keeping you at arm's length, she might be doing so for a reason. Don't ignore what her body language is quietly telling you. When a woman starts talking openly about other men she's interested in, it can be one of the clearest signs that she doesn't view you as a romantic possibility. This might show up in subtle ways at first. Maybe she mentions someone she's been texting, talks about a guy she met at a party, or shares excitement about someone she finds attractive. At first, you might dismiss it as harmless or assume she's trying to make you jealous, but in reality, this kind of talk is usually a signal that she sees you as a friend or confidant, not as a potential partner. People typically avoid discussing romantic interests around someone they're seriously considering dating because they don't want to give the wrong impression or hurt their chances. It can be painful to hear her talk about someone else, especially if you have strong feelings for her. You might find yourself hoping it's just a phase or convincing yourself that you still have a shot. But the more she brings up other guys, especially in a casual, comfortable way, the more obvious it becomes that she doesn't feel the same way about you. This isn't something to take personally. It's simply an honest reflection of where her mind and heart are focused. Sometimes this kind of conversation is her way of gently drawing a line without directly rejecting you. Instead of saying, "I don't feel the same way," she shows you by sharing her interest in others. The healthiest response is to acknowledge the signal, accept her honesty, and use that clarity to move forward. Continuing to pursue someone who is emotionally invested elsewhere only leads to more hurt. When someone shows you that they're romantic, attention lies elsewhere. Believe them and start investing in someone who's ready to give you the same kind of focus and energy.